Okay, I already found something else in chapter 3, book of Genesis. Okay, so this is going off of our conversation from yesterday where I noticed in the book of Genesis, there is a change of referring to God. Chapter 1, it's God. Then chapter 2, it's the Lord God. Now, I know some of you can't watch the original video. It's sort of being shadow banned. Some people can view it, other people can't. But basically, the idea is that there's God, which translates in Hebrew to Elohim. And then I noticed that it went to the Lord God, which I looked up the Hebrew translation, which is Yahweh Elohim. So I was asking and posing the question, are they two different people? Is Elohim God from chapter 1, like the supreme God, the original creator, the highest God? And then is Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, like a demigod? Is it Sophia's son from the book of John? Or what Plato refers to as, and I'll put it on the screen because I don't know how to pronounce it. So anyway, moving forward, I noticed the same language, which has in chapter 3, that's making me question the original narrative of how we're, like as Christians, or at least me growing up, was told to view the serpent. So we all know the story of like the Lord God, language is important here, tells Adam and Eve they can eat anything from the Garden of Eden except from eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Then the serpent tempts Eve, who encourages Adam to eat from it. And then the Lord God comes back and punishes them, punishes the serpent, punishes Eve by putting Adam in charge over her, and then punishes Adam as well because behold, listen, behold, Adam is become as one of us. That's plural, which is a whole other conversation that I'll talk about in the next video. And so he says, unless perhaps he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. So he doesn't want Adam, the Lord God, to eat from the tree of knowledge. So he kicks them out of the Garden of Eden and then guards up the tree of knowledge. So now that I'm viewing this again, I'm like questioning, kind of like in tarot, when I read tarot, usually like the snake, when I see a snake or a serpent, it represents renewal, rebirth, or wisdom. Sometimes deception, but mostly like the positive things of that. So in chapter 3, the serpent says to Eve, "Why hath God commanded you that you shall not eat of every tree of paradise?" He says God, not the Lord God. And then the woman explains why, because they'll die. And then the serpent says, "For God doth know that in what day soever you shall eat thereof, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." He says God, not the Lord God.